not-so-friendly reminder that there is a wrong way to prepare for interviews. But we got you. For all of the no-fluff advice for getting ahead in your career without losing your mind, listen to Clock In with Emily Durham wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar. Optimize your body and mind with IQ Bar's clean, functional products. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't even have time to eat? Girl, you need to throw an IQ Bar plant protein bar in your purse. Yes, we know you're busy. We all are. We're women. But it's beyond time to stop sacrificing your nutrition, your wellness, and your peace of mind. Try IQ Bar. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. Or try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. So clean, so delicious. You don't even have to think about it. Go to IQBar.com today and enter promo code BRAINIQ to get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. That's IQBAR.com, promo code BRAINIQ. IQBar.com, code BRAINIQ.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Pooja and Gurdeep's Profession Confessions.
These are my confessions.
Pooja, one of the places I always wonder about how things really work is on airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there must be crazy stories of things that have happened on airplanes that we have no idea about.
I have flight attendant friends, and it's usually just a lot of facial expressions because there's so much they can't divulge.
This is why they're your friends, because you're all facial expression too. We're also getting into travel season, so we thought let's chat with a flight attendant on Profession Confessions. And we have got Flight Attendant X, who's been in the skies for 7 years now. Good morning, Flight Attendant X.
Well, good morning.
You're on the ground right now, right?
Imagine.
I am, or I'd be losing my job.
She's calling us from the bathroom closet.
I mean, it
Imagine.
is Profession Confessions. Like, we don't know. What happens on the plane. That's the whole point of this. So I guess let's start with this. The correct term for your profession is flight attendant, but does it bug you when people say stewardess or hey, miss?
Okay. Hey, miss is, non-negotiable. I don't like it at all. Stewardess, my skin's a bit thicker than that. I can handle it. Maybe don't tell the brand new one, really young girls. Stewardess, no, they do not like it. And steward, I don't know, it just sounds very strange.
Is stewardess an offensive term?
Stewardess, I don't know, it just kind of brings you back to the days where I guess people could sort of, treat us a little differently in the skies. We have a little more professionalism, or at least try.
It's almost like old school versus new school.
Back when people were
old school.
Back when people were wearing plaid suits and smoking darts on planes? Like, that's the time we're talking about? Okay, got it.
I've been told it was a better time, but I wouldn't know. So let's just keep the flight attendant.
You're divulging too much about your age. Let's move on. Flight Attendant X, what kinds of ridiculous things do people push the call button for?
Okay, let's think. Many. That's the problem. Let's think. Sometimes you show up and they'll say, can you tell the person in front of me to bring their chair up?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Oh, wow is right. Unless it's mealtime. This is not the sandbox. I can't tell you how to play. It's just too much. Just recline yours. And then the person behind is like a domino effect. It's not a lot of space, but it makes a little bit of space.
Mm-hmm. I guess because they're probably trying to avoid confrontation and they don't want it to turn into a whole thing, so they look to you.
I guess, but then now it's going to be awkward for another 8 hours for me. And how do you tell somebody you cannot relax for 8 whole hours? I just can't do it.
Okay, so what about, how does it work particularly within the flight attendants on a flight? Like, is there a hierarchy? How do you get to decide who's working first class versus coach? Are you drawing straws? I imagine everybody wants to work first class.
Well, some people don't like it. I do. Some people really don't like it because you do deal with some personalities there as well.
Oh, true.
So it's sort of seniority sometimes, or a lot of the times we just sort of discuss it. So it all depends. You have your issues front and back, and great things front and back. So it depends. Depends on what you want.
Oh, you call it front and back.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know
sorry.
that.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
guess.
didn't know that.
Well, I mean, listen. It's a coach is a bit again. Coach reminds me a bit of stewardess, but anyway,
Right.
Right back
and
in
back
coach.
to make
Yeah.
it easy. Right back in coach. Yes.
So speaking of, for all the people who, are used to flying economy versus being up front, what is the best way for a passenger to get upgraded?
Well, nowadays it's all based on a list, right? So whether you're a frequent flyer, you put yourself on an upgrade list. But I mean, I get people come to the door sometimes if I'm boarding and they'll say, so if you have anything up front, I'm happy to take it. And I'm like, I'd love to, but it's not the 90s. Like, I can't just say, well, today you're the lucky contestant. It's honestly, as much as we appreciate the little, and we love the little gift, and we try to, if it's a chocolate or whatever, we try to remember and come by and get you some better wine or something if we can, but we can't upgrade on board. That's all done on the ground, and that's all done on seniority and whatever it is that the gate agents are doing.
Because you do hear stories of people being upgraded. It's never happened to me personally, but what is the secret sauce? So it's not done on board. Do you know what the best way to tip the scales in your favor at the gate, or is it when you're checking in? Like, what's the play?
Okay, so, I mean, in another life, when I may have been working on the ground somewhere else, sometimes it was just the lovely old couple that didn't ask for the upgrade.
Oh,
Yes, or someone who was having a panic-stricken kind of day, and then I would call. We were a smaller organization. I'd call and say, hey, do you mind so-and-so? But nowadays it really is just if you're a frequent flyer, if you have points, all these points, they're all kind of like on a tier system. And so-and-so, I'll tell you this, if you get upgraded and that person who has a million miles knows and figures out that he or she should have been up there,
Right.
it can get, yes. That's the problem with technology. Everybody knows.
I miss the J's of subjectivity.
yes.
I know. It was sweet, but I mean, I'm in another world now and we just don't do it.
Do you have a favorite and least favorite city to fly in?
I mean, if I say my favorite, I might, people might have an idea of why, but I guess one of my favorite places would be, I love going overseas, so I love going to Paris or Rome or places like that. My least favorite, I don't really have a least favorite. I have a least favorite kind of flight. I don't like going somewhere and turning right back around and coming home. I'd rather do a long, long flight and look forward to my nice, nice bed or my nice, nice wine or whatever it is that I can't be doing while I'm serving you.
Right, right. And then also getting to enjoy a city. Okay, speaking of, since you brought that up, what do flight attendants do on those long flights when they do land in a city and you're there for a night or 2 nights or 3 nights? Like, what do you get up to? What goes on?
I mean, is this for real anonymous?
This is
It's anonymous.
Soup's anon.
And if you say it twice, even more so. Yeah.
What did you say?
If you say anonymous twice, even more so. Yes,
And I said-
Anonymous. Okay.
Yes.
Well, it depends. You have the goodbye and click and see you on the shuttle on the way home, and you have those flight attendants. I am the exact opposite. So after getting freshened up or whatever it is, depending on where I am, I want to start the day. If it's cocktail hour or somewhere close to cocktail hour, I might want to start with that. Do some groceries, depending if it's a fun place. Meet up for, a little more fun activities. Dinner, I don't know, if somebody takes us around a place I haven't been before, I may have danced sometimes here and there. It all depends.
Nice.
It all depends.
Okay.
Yes, it's fun. It can be fun. And sometimes if I'm not loving it, I'm just like, guys, I have a cousin to meet, and I just do my own thing all day. It all depends.
So exciting.
No. So what is the most inappropriate thing that a passenger has done that you have witnessed?
Inappropriate. I mean, I've been told many, many things. The most inappropriate thing was yelling because we couldn't serve coffee during turbulence and saying that this flight attendant was useless, and we masterminded the whole thing so we wouldn't have to finish a full service.
What?
Wow.
Absolutely. And maybe that flight attendant was anonymous. And maybe anonymous had a staff member who's also a friend flying as a passenger, and maybe that staff passenger got a little in his face for speaking so rudely. So anyway, it happens. Thankfully, again, thick skin. thick-skinned stewardess. That could be my second anonymous name.
Right. I feel like you have to, that's part of the job description. You have to have a thick skin to do what you do. We're with Flight Attendant X on Profession Confessions. Okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I need your help here, Flight Attendant X. I was once at a flight, and the flight attendant was very attractive. I perceived that there was some type of spark or connection. Maybe I misread the situation. Anyway, on the when I was getting off the flight, I wrote down a nice little note on the napkin. Just like, hey, it felt like I had a nice connection with you. You've got a lovely smile. I forget exactly what I said. Nothing like creepy, but just like, hey, don't know what your situation is, but would love to connect with you if you're open to it. And I put down my number and my Instagram handle, just thinking, got to shoot my shot, right? What's the worst that could happen? I'm not saying anything offensive. Anyhow, when I was leaving the flight, I kind of shook her hand and said, thank you so much. You were lovely. And I like James Bond, slid her the napkin in the handshake. I'm like, I'm so slick. This is great. Now, I didn't end up hearing from her. Who knows? Maybe she was married. Maybe she wasn't interested. Whatever. But what did you think of that move? And what's the most creative way that someone has tried to pick you up on a flight? Rate my move out of 10.
Your move, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5.
All right.
Maybe 9. Yes.
Okay, good, because she was at least a 9, too.
All right. That's fair. I mean, come on. In this day and age, somebody who actually does that. Now, I have one that might one up the way you did it, but this one was it was a wild shot, and it could have gone sideways. I have no idea how it went, but I think it's great. I don't think there's anything wrong. You didn't do anything. You don't know. You're trying. And it's up to you don't know.
I'm just looking for love.
That's fine.
In all the wrong places.
If the flight attendant had been, oh God, excuse. No, if the flight attendant had been walking by and you're like poking that person or whatever and let's have a chat. I have to talk to you right now. And I've got the whole other thing. But
poking?
I think what you did.
There's poking?
Absolutely. We get poked. Yes, there's poking. I don't know if it's because we're walking and instead of being eye level, we're kind of hip level or whatever we are, but there's poking. And I don't get it. Every time someone pokes me, I think, if I were at CIBC right now and I were waiting a really long time and, branch manager X walked by and I needed help, I wouldn't poke branch manager X. But we get poked. You wouldn't believe.
That's weird. So is there, now you don't have to divulge your status, whether you're, available, not available, but what is the most creative way someone has actually tried to pick you up that isn't poking? Has anyone ever done something where you're like, oh, wow, that person's got some game?
Okay, I'm going to be very honest.
The Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar. Optimize your body and mind with IQ Bar's clean, functional products. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't even have time to eat? Girl, you need to throw an IQ Bar plant protein bar in your purse. Yes, we know you're busy. We all are. We're women. But it's beyond time to stop sacrificing your nutrition, your wellness, and your peace of mind. Try IQ Bar. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. Or try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. So clean, so delicious. You don't even have to think about it. Go to IQBar.com today and enter promo code BRAINIQ to get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. That's IQBAR.com, promo code BRAINIQ. IQBar.com, code BRAINIQ.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
What is the most creative way someone has actually tried to pick you up that isn't poking? Has anyone ever done something where you're like, oh, wow, that person's got some game?
Okay, I'm going to be very honest. The 2 times in the more recent past where it's happened, it was not very appropriate. It was very guilt trippy on towards me. So I won't share that, but I do have a great story of what happened to a friend of mine, and we were standing there at the same time.
Okay.
So we're at the back. We finished all our service. We're about to land. And this guy had been we could tell. We're like, I wonder if this guy likes Flight Attendant Y. And Flight Attendant Y is like, nah, there's no way. Well, anyway, he comes to the galley, which is like our kitchen at the back. Comes to the galley, goes, I just have to say this before the flight lands. You are absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know if you are single or not, but if you are, you know where I'm sitting, and I'd love to take you out one day. And I just had to let you know before we land. And we were all like, oh, my God, he held that in for 9 hours.
Wow.
Amazing move. Amazing move. A little bold, like she could have actually embarrassed him, but she just turned red and thought it was the cutest thing. And we all told her, in this day and age, go for that. Like, why not? For
And did
somebody
she?
to have that kind of... You know what? We're waiting to hear if they're meeting up again. But I think they met up the first time. Yes.
They
yes.
did meet up.
Wow.
Oh, man. So he was more successful than my attempt.
I said, in this day and age, you're complaining about everything. All the guys out there, this was a great move.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because everything's online now. For somebody to actually like be
This is
brave
what
enough
I'm
to just
saying.
say what's on their mind in an appropriate way, that's pretty cool.
Right?
I was pretty nervous writing that napkin, even though I had nothing to lose. It's still a nerve-wracking move. You're pulling a big time. You know what? I can't wait till I go on my next flight. I'm motivated now.
He's like,
But here's the thing. People know what you look like. So, I mean, if we see a handshake with a napkin, we know what's going on now.
No, I'm doing your move now. I'm just jumping into the galley. I'm going to announce myself. I'm here.
Are you gonna bring the radio and put it over your head too? I love it.
yes. And then you'll be like, can anyone show me to the galley?
Oh my God, the galley.
So I have a question, and I've done this on the plane where it's the safety demonstration time, and I feel horrible because I know nobody is paying attention. So I will try to at least make eye contact and pretend as if I'm interested.
You care?
Yeah. Do you know this? Do you care that nobody's paying attention? Like, tell me about the safety demo.
Okay, so a lot of times I don't have to actually do it, but if it happens and there are screens that don't work, I'm not giving myself away. I'm just telling you, on some airlines, you don't have to do it all the time. So if that happens and I'm actually doing that and people are not watching, I find if you're doing it, people are watching it more because they just want to see if your hair gets caught up in the life vest, to be quite honest. And that is pretty much what's going on through my mind. Why did I even brush it? What was the point of the hairspray? Now I need to turn around and do the whole walk of shame and fix this hair in the bathroom. But, do I take it personally? Not really, because this is the bad thing. I want to think that you want to be safe, but the truth is, are you going to remember everything I show you 9 hours later? I don't know. But, yeah, I appreciate the eye contact. That's quite nice, but every time you're looking at me, I'm wondering if you're thinking if I'm going to ruin my hair, to be honest.
It's like when a substitute teacher is in, the kids are just not looking, not paying attention. Okay, I'm really curious about this next one. We're with Flight Attendant X on Profession Confessions. What are the food and drink items that we should avoid ordering on a plane? Because let's just say maybe they're not quite like they are on land.
Okay. Safe, fine. Coffee or tea? No. Coffee or tea? No.
I've heard this about never order the coffee on board a flight. How come?
Okay. Again, is it safe? Yes. It's sort of like, you know how like you might like certain water and you really can't stand other water, but that water is still okay. You're still safe to drink it.
Right.
Okay.
So imagine like the worst level of that kind of water, and now you're having it as your coffee or your tea. A, it's not going to taste great, but some people love it. They can't get enough of it. And B, it's just not super, it's a big, big plane. And those tanks have to get filled. And I'm just, your imagination. So
Help me with my imagination.
Like, has that water just been sitting there a long time, maybe? Like,
sometimes, like, it's not the best quality. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
And maybe I heard that from someone that I know who works on planes, like fixes planes. So maybe I've heard that before.
Sure.
Maybe I've heard that from somebody who works on planes, Zed.
Okay. So bring your own bottled water. Don't order coffee or tea. What about, are there food or drink items you do recommend that are like, yeah, this is like the safest thing to eat on the plane?
Well, hold on. To get back to the water, if you see me pouring it from an actual, like, water bottle that's labeled and sealed, fine. If you see it from one of those jugs that we filled in at the back, no. Just drink your own water. You've already spent thousands of dollars. Buy the $5 bottle of water. Feel like you're at the Jays game. You get over it, and you're just going to drink that on the plane.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, and what were you saying about food? Sorry,
yeah, so
I
like,
think I cut you off.
Are there food and drink items you do recommend that are safe and fairly similar to what you'd get on land?
Safe, yes. I'm more of like, when I'm flying, I'd rather just have the bread and the butter or maybe the cheese. I don't love those meals all the time. And when people are like, what would you have? I'm like, I don't know, neither. But I don't say that. I think that in my brain. I just say I have dietary restrictions. I eat the food, the bread, the cheese, the whatever. But I don't know. I wouldn't say there's anything necessary. Maybe not the pasta, okay? We don't do great pasta coming out of here, but it's maybe safer in people's minds.
I always order the pasta.
I know. Well, if you're leaving Europe or like Italy in particular, it's pretty good. But if you're leaving here, it's sometimes meh. But you know what the problem is? It's usually the veg option. So, you know, a lot of people are stuck with it.
That's what happens to me. Okay, so do you have a pet? It's okay. Do you have a passenger pet peeve? And it could be anything from like, you know, not wearing socks or, you know, people going to the bathroom, asking for free things. Like the list is long, I'm sure.
Okay. If you go around with your socks, I can get over that because my brain just thinks those socks might end up in the garbage or something. Or bare feet on a plane freaks me out. I don't know how people do it. And then when they proceed to like smile at you as they go into the bathroom, beyond me. I don't even, all I think about every time I walk by and serve you again or answer a question is that your feet went into that bathroom. I cannot. Feet on the bulkhead. You know what the bulkhead is? For that wall, like sometimes where there's whatever would have been a screen back in the day that divides the feet right up there. Sometimes bare feet. I have to look at those as I walk by.
No.
Some flight attendants, yes, who may be a little more, you know, who may be wiser than me, a couple years on me, will actually tell some people, you need to take those feet down. I haven't crossed that line yet. I just let other people make faces at them.
Gosh. So when I go when I step into the galley to profess my love, I shouldn't be barefoot. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Please don't. I will be the flight attendant who asks you to please turn around and rethink those moves.
You mentioned the bathroom. So how dirty are those bathrooms?
Well, some people like to check them a little more than others. We are supposed to check them here and there, of course, make sure that there are supplies, make sure that, you know, it's not a complete mess. We're not there to scrub them down.
Right.
Sometimes it gets so bad we might have to lock a whole lavatory. I'm not lying. So sometimes it's gotten, yes. Absolutely.
Does it get cleaned after each flight, though, like thoroughly or not really?
I mean, as clean as you can get with, like, managers breathing down their necks, the groomers' necks. So, yeah, it gets clean, but not clean enough that you should ever walk in barefoot or sit down without a little padding between you and the seat.
Okay, listen, while we're on the topic of the bathrooms, I know everyone listening is probably screaming at the radio saying, you got to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going with Flight Attendant X on Profession Confessions. I've got to know, Mile High Club, have you ever witnessed it? Have you ever had to break it up?
I personally have not, but I flew with someone recently who has, and they just sort of looked around because they had used the bathroom. It was a bigger plane, so the bathroom just behind business. Which has a bit more room if anybody needs to know, and not the one near the flight deck, the one outdoors too, a little bit bigger. Not that I am encouraging this behavior, but he actually had been talking to one of the passengers who walked in, and it was a quiet moment of the flight, and he came out and he said, "Congratulations."
What?
You congratulate them. Yes, what are you going to do? I mean, you had the boldness to go in there and close it up for a bit, so he caught them, and instead of being like, you should not, or whatever, he's like, congratulations. They're like, ugh, and went back to their place.
Did he get like a badge or a sticker that said you're now part of the Mile High Club?
No, I don't know. If there's a secret, something that happens, I have not been privy to it. I have not. But yes, does it happen? Maybe a little less than before.
The sheer mechanics of it are mind-blowing. Anytime I'm in there, like, using the bathroom, I'm like, how two people in here? How could you? I don't know, man. Yeah.
And turbulence. What about turbulence? Like, I don't know.
That might make it better.
Too risky for me. I mean, maybe.
The fact that you think that there's a badge that you get or a sticker is also hilarious.
Curious. I don't know. I'm not part of the club. I don't know.
Okay, well, the question was crazy. I thought it was going to get crazier. So thank you for keeping it somewhat PG-13. Next.
Next. I love it. Okay.
I'm joking.
No. We know. So is there a specific type of passenger that you dread?
The specific type of passenger would probably be the passenger that, well, first of all, that one that comes on and goes, if there's anything free up front, think of me. No, it's the equivalent of, I didn't find a price tag on this. It must be free when you're at like Sobeys or whatever. Don't like the joke. Maybe the passenger who looks panic-stricken that he or she gets to their spot and there's no place for their bags, no room for their bags above them, and they say, "This is my spot. My bag should be here." It doesn't work that way. I don't know if people don't know that, but it's one carry-on per person, and we try our best. And if there's no room, we will find you room somewhere else, because usually there's a spot somewhere on the plane. So that kind of irritates us when we're trying to get everyone settled and people are hyper-focused on that one bag they have.
Right. Yeah, you see that on every single flight.
Are we allowed to ask you for help to put our bag in the overhead compartment?
You can ask us to help you find a spot. But the truth is, if you packed it, you need to be able to stow it. I mean, that's the truth. The truth of the matter, if you look carefully, now I'm getting technical, not really cheeky. If you look on your ticket, you're actually signing off on that with our tickets. Okay. You're not, yes. So people are so worried about checking bags now, which I get. I mean, yes, we all know that sometimes a bag does not follow you to destination right away, but it'll get there. And then they pack everything, all of their items, the kitchen sink, as one would say, into that bag. And then they look at you and it's no, because if I lift your bag and I lift everyone else's bag on this side of the plane, that could be like 100 bags, 200 bags a day.
Yeah.
I'd be out of a job in a week.
Yeah.
I can't. You need me for other things, not for lifting your bags.
Or you'd be jacked. You'd just be ripped.
Or I'd
lifting
be
bags.
It's a good point, just because I've never actually got anyone to help me. I always just thought that, maybe it's better for you to help me because I'm a disaster. Like, I'm a bit klutzy and I don't want my bag landing on somebody. So I thought maybe you asking you for help is because you would be better at it somehow. And I didn't know that I was not entitled to the space above my seat. I thought that was my space.
Well, no, because here's what happens. There's so many bags. So even though we tell people one bag, they end up bringing more. We try to control it by telling you put one under the seat or whatever it is. Things fill up. Some of the overhead has emergency equipment. So if you happen to be in that row with emergency equipment, I mean, that stuff trumps any of your skincare or whatever it is you're bringing on board. And yeah, I mean, we try our best. We don't want your bag to be 20, rows away from you, but better there. If not, in worst case, ask them to gate check it. It goes directly into the belly, so you know it's on the plane.
With Flight Attendant X.
If you're really worried, last tip. If you're really worried and you're like, maybe I did overpack this carry-on, but, security let you through. When they say, and they will at almost every flight, does anybody want to gate check their bag? Do it. Because at that point, they're going to let you board a little earlier, and your bag is out of your hands. You don't have to find a spot for it, and it'll be there for sure when you get there, when you get to destination.
With Flight Attendant X on Profession Confessions. Okay, help me with this, because I'm always trying to figure out, like, I'm aisle guy. I prefer sitting in the aisle. But generally speaking, what is the best seat and worst seat in economy?
Oh, God. The worst seat would be and sometimes you don't know when you're looking on that map, but the seat right in front of a lavatory in the middle of the plane, not like a back lavatory, but let's say like at a door. So you're that last row before the washroom next to a door. You have nowhere, you cannot recline your seat. So if you are hoping to sleep, that's not going to work. Best seat. I mean, best seat would probably be a pod, but okay. Best seat in economy would be.
Don't say none of them.
No, I'm not going to say none of them. Some people are really worried about being in that last row or the second last row, but sometimes those seats, like instead of being 3, it ends up being 2. You're close to the bathroom. If you really need that extra drink and you've been really nice, you come and ask. We don't mind at all, and we'll give you another drink. It's kind of good. You can be an independent on your flight.
Okay. What's the fastest way for a passenger to get cut off from alcohol?
Start slurring your words and start telling us that you can handle it while you're swaying towards us. That is, or no, all jokes aside, if you become a little bit confrontational about not having that other drink, that's a red flag for us. Yes, we want to keep everybody safe at the end of the day.
Okay, what about this? We're still on seats here. I know we're not supposed to, but how seriously do you guys take like swapping seats? If two passengers are in agreement that they want to swap seats, do you allow them? Is that just a deal between them, or is that a strict thing where they cannot do that?
As long as you're in the same cabin, you can do that, no problem. Actually, we encourage it. Sometimes people get whatever the case is, they end up on a flight because they've been switched from another one. And now this party of 2 or 3 are not together. Unless it's a child, we can't really move people around. We can't force people. But if you can negotiate that, why not? Okay. We don't mind at all. Actually, you're making life easier for us.
Have you ever fallen asleep on a flight when you're not supposed to be sleeping? You're not on a break?
No. Thankfully, no. I try my best not to do that. So whatever it is that I have to do, walk around, that's a big no-no. That is a big no-no. Yeah, sorry.
Flight Attendant X on Profession Confessions. We're just about out of time. Is there anything else you want to leave us with that's juicy in your mind that we have not set you up for? Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Okay. Let me think. Just a couple of things, maybe. So when we are serving your meal or your drink service, maybe not the best time to hand me your trash. It's kind of like the same as being at the restaurant and you have your beautiful steak dinner being placed in front of you, and then at the same time someone walks by and says, hey, could you take the Kleenex, and hands it to that server. It's a little bit of a strange, but people look at you like you're crazy when you don't take the garbage. So there's that. And maybe once I've asked you, if you ask for that coffee, because you're still allowed to have it just because I don't want it, you can have it. And I say, how do you take it, black? And you say, yes. And I hand it down, and then I go to the next row, and then I poke, and I turn around, excuse me, yes? Well, I need milk and sugar. Just tell me from the beginning. I'm not a mind reader.
Oh, dear. You ask them how they want the coffee, and they don't tell you.
They don't tell you. They just say black. Yes, just coffee, black. And then they're like, 3 creams. I need 2 sugars. Why? Just tell me at once. Wow. Or I've said chicken and pasta for 12 rows. I get to you, and they're like, what are the options? I don't know. You've been watching me, like stalking me all the way here, and now it's still chicken or pasta.
Oh, man. That is frustrating. Lick, thank you so much. That was very insightful. We appreciate your color, your candor, and your time.
Thank you. I hope it was fun.
Well, not to worry you, Flight Attendant X, but we're going to make sure that this is anonymous.
I love that. Thank you. Double anonymous.
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.